Hi, welcome to Shan Living. My name is Silvia. I'm a certified emotion code practitioner. So I'm going to start a new series on how to deal with certain feelings. And to kickstart today's video is how to deal with the emotional roller coaster ride of a bad breakup. So if you have clicked on this video, I suppose either you have gone through, this painful, excruciating experience, or you are currently going through one. Or perhaps you are thinking of a breakup, but you have been hesitating because you can imagine how difficult it is going to be coping with this huge decision. And a lot of times also, my clients come to my sessions because they are wavering between should I or should I not? Should I leave him? Should I leave her? Or should I stay? But if I'm staying, I'm not happy. It's not working out. But if I leave, I have so much fear because what if I can't find someone else again, despite it is not a happy relationship now, but at least I know I have a partner. Okay, so well, this topic is really close to my heart because I've experienced this like so many times in my life, and I think it is also part of the reason why at one point of time it really drove me into mild depression, being abandoned again and again, and the inability to find someone that you can trust. The worst kind of breakup is when it is a result of betrayals. Cheating, lying. And that kind of experience can be quite traumatizing because you must understand that when we are talking about breakup, it's not a casual friend or relationship. I'm talking about really intimate, personal relationship that you may have with this person. It's not defined by only the duration of time, but how deeply you were involved in this relationship during that period of time. And for me, I'm someone who lives with deep emotions. It's just inside me. I don't live superficially. So when I fall in love, I really fall into it. My whole life, my whole energy, my whole body, my spirit is into that relationship. And that's why whatever that happens in the relationship really, really impacts my life and my happiness a lot. So, so I've been through that many times, that pattern, of falling into love and falling out of love. And it is really an emotional roller coaster ride. And perhaps because of my personal experience that somehow when I started Shan Living and my emotional healing therapy, I have most of my clients who come to me, their issue, their challenge, their struggles is a lot on relationships. So when I get to hear their stories of breakup, their stories of heartache, their stories of indecisiveness, the stories of abuse, toxic relationship, for those times, suddenly I realized that I'm so not alone because in the past I used to not really talk about them because I feel that everyone around me is having such a happy and healthy relationship. Maybe I'm just the oddball, I'm just weird that I'm always going into something unconventional. It's my own choice. So I don't tend to talk about them, like really air it out. And therefore, I'm always under the perception that maybe I'm the only one that is going through this kind of crazy relationships that is heart-wrenching, and going through all these pain, emotional pain. So as I hear more and more of my clients' stories, and as I walk with them more and more, down this journey of healing, of getting out of it, it has come to this video. So in emotional healing, like I always say, is a lot about bringing awareness of what you are going through, because if you are so blinded by the emotional pain, you will have this victimized mindset or victimized condition whereby you're going to be led around by your painful emotions down the wrong path. And and that's why there are people who are unable to get out of this breakup, and they broke down, right? And some even ended their own life. So we always have a choice, okay? We always have a choice, no matter how deep, how important this relationship seems to be. It's never going to be the end of the world or the end of life. And what I want to share with you in this video a lot is in perhaps shedding some lights so that you can understand how this journey unfolds. Okay, so the first thing when you're going through breakup, especially whether it's something you're expecting or something unexpected, there will always be the first big emotional shakeup, and that is called shock. Don't underestimate this emotion, shock, right? In fact, it's in one of our 60 trapped emotions. Once you experience this shock and you never really navigate out of it, or you don't try to shine light on it, bring consciousness on it, this shock is going to keep manifesting inside you. If you suppressed it and get distracted and walk away, this shock is going to manifest inside you, and it's going to become the kind of anxiety and panic attack that you will always feel in the future of your life. The shock is about really getting a step back and like so unexpected, or you panic, right? Something bad is happening. You want to find a place to hide. It's dangerous. So that is shock. So if you don't heal that shock by bringing self-awareness, self-consciousness, patience, and kindness to it, that shock, that trapped emotion of shock is going to be buried inside you and create future problems to your life, to your emotional well-being. So first thing, when you are talking about breakup, I know you will not be able to be prepared and get ready for it and keep calm, no matter how much, even if you have rehearsed it. But just be aware that you will be shocked. There will be shock. There will be shock from him, from her, yourself, perhaps people around you. There will be a lot of shock that's happening. So do expect, get to know how this emotion feels. It's going to make you panic, it's going to make you indecisive, it's going to make you feel guilty, ashamed, and it's going to make you feel, most importantly, in danger, threatened, insecure. So what you want to do is you have to make sure that you manage this shock, right? Don't let it become a trap emotion. After the conversation, the decision, or whatever episode you've gone through, you have to find space, find time to calm yourself down, to work through this whole disruptive chaos, this insecurity, this uncertainty that is going to create waves in your heart and your mind. So after the shock, what happens? After the shock, the next emotions come in usually, and that's grievance. Grievance is not just, you see in funerals or when someone's dying. Grievance is literally the kind of sad emotion when you lose something. Whether it's good, bad, it's just something that has been part of you for so long, so deep down inside you, and now it's gone. That is grievance. Okay, the grief of losing something so close, so deep inside you, whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. Okay, grievance is a process of feeling sad that this thing is no longer part of you and your life. So that grievance itself, can really drive someone down into a rabbit hole if you keep thinking about what is gone, what you have lost. And the worst thing is you keep confirming and validating with yourself that what is lost will never come back and you'll never have it again. Okay, and I think that is actually one of the biggest obstacles when someone wants to decide on a breakup. There's always this insecurity and fear that you're not going to have it again. You're not going to have another relationship again. You're not going to meet a man again. You're not going to meet a woman again, despite how unhappy you are in this relationship. Okay, so this grievance, you have to deal with it, because grievance is something that will spiral into depression. Grievance is very, very low vibrational energy, right? It's got to do with death. Death is about ending, right? It's about going to darkness. It's about no more life, no more anything. So you have to see this coming, grievance. And how you will have to deal with it is you do need to balance your point of view. You know, life is a full circle. It's not a straight line. Wherever there is an ending, there will be a new beginning. Wherever there is death, there will also be new life. Okay? Only when you're able to clear away whatever is no longer serving you, or only when what no longer is serving you is leaving you, then, you know, better things will be able to enter into your life. You have to rebalance your perspective by not just looking at what you have lost, the darkness, the ending, but you have to look at new hope, new beginning, new life. All right, so that is for grievance. Now, after grievance, what happens next is the trapped emotion of feeling lost, right? What's next? Suddenly, you know, you lose your bearings. Like, oh, you know, it has to, a lot of my clients used to be like, in this relationship, they have already built some kind of a rhythm and routine, right? He's always the one that I go out for dinner, you know, if I want to watch a movie. And now without this partner in my life, I don't know what to do now, all by myself. So you start feeling lost, you know, like, what do I want to do now without this relationship? There's no more love. Do I go look for another one? Do I try to status quo, you know, just being by myself? Who am I, you know? Will I still be loved? Am I lovable? You know, why is it that I lose this relationship? You know, there will be like 10,000 self-doubts coming into your mind that's going to create a lot of fog around you that you cannot see your path ahead of you. So you start feeling lost. And you know what lost will lead into? If you don't heal it, lost, the sense of feeling lost will manifest and snowball, and it will become frustrations. You know, when you have no clarity in life, just think about it, right? When you don't have a clear idea about something, do you get frustrated after a while? You pull your hair, right? I just want an answer. But, you know, so that's what will happen if you don't heal your trapped emotion of lost. And once you get frustrated, it's very dangerous. And this is where the critical pivoting point or the tipping point will happen. You might go down one of these two paths. One is you become angry. Anger consumes you and you want a revenge. You become bitter, you become resentful, and, you know, perhaps it's not about getting back at your ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, but maybe, you know, you start projecting it on any new partners that are going to come into your life, because you still carry that resentment and anger, that fear that it's not going to work out again. So it's going to create a lot of toxicity in your next new relationship, or in your process of waiting for the next best relationship to come along. So you can go down this path of pain. You know, pain can turn into a lot of toxic behavior and choices. Or you can really choose the other path of peace. Make peace with this whole experience of breakup. It must have happened for a reason. And breakups do happen. People leave you. You have to leave someone for a good reason. And the reason is always because it is no longer serving its purpose in your life. And perhaps in this case, since it's a partnership in that person's life as well, it might seem so difficult to understand. I mean, everything is going well, I'm serving his purpose and he's serving mine. Well, perhaps to the ego mind, this might seem to be the case, but if you go deeper into the soul, there is a reason why both of you come together, and there is a reason why it's time to part. So to go down the path of peace, you have to really work through all the emotions, the negative emotions that are going to be evoked, triggered during the entire experience and process. And you really have to sit down with those emotions, work them through, and make peace. You have to make peace with your wisdom, with your kindness, with your self-consciousness, setting 4 things. 1, your intention. So you can't control what has happened. So what is your intention right now? Do you want to not experience this again? Do you want a happier future? Do you want, now you've go through this ordeal, you know what you prefer in a life partner? Do you now feel that you're more empowered to make better choices next time? You have to choose your intention, right? You have to bring so much awareness and use this opportunity. Use this opportunity for self-discovery, what you truly want, who is truly good for you in your life. And the third one is choice. You always have a choice. If you leave this person, doesn't mean that that's it. All doors are shut. You're never going to find someone else. Well, the whole point is not about, will I be single for the rest of my life? Will I be, alone for the rest of my life? That's not the point. The point is, you now have a choice. Do you want to live happily? Do you want to ride on the lessons learned from this experience, this partnership, this beautiful and not so beautiful experience that you ever have with this partner? How are you going to ride on these experiences to evolve yourself? And fourthly, you have to find a faith to help you, to give you the strength, okay? I think in a breakup, that is always the most critical part. I went through such a bad breakup. It's just, I shock myself even, right? I mean, I'm such a strong willpower independent person, but I didn't realize that this relationship can really crush me totally. And all I can do for the next 3 months is I can only cry and crawl. That's how I would describe my life. I couldn't get out of bed. I was in shock. I was in grievance. I was lost, right? I went through this whole process, and of course, you and I, we will go through it differently. Different emotions will be evoked. Today, I'm sharing with you these 3 general emotions, right? And also partly because of my personal experience. A lot of these emotions might differ because a lot could also relate to what you have experienced as a child. If you have ever experienced abandonment by your parents, neglect, unaffectionate parents or violent parents, a lot of those emotional needs that are unmet or emotional traumas that you experience then, a lot will be, they will take opportunity of this breakup because it's very similar to the abandonment during your childhood. So a lot of those old emotions are going to surface at this time. So if you have experienced fear, vulnerability, shame, guilt, everything is going to come tumbling down on you. So it is not easy. It is never easy, but it is possible to get out of a breakup, emotional pain, it is possible to stop that emotional roller coaster ride, finish the ride and come out alive. It is possible, but it is not easy. That's why you really need this fourth pillar of faith. You need to find strength that you can anchor on. And for me, it's always the higher power. It is always God. It is always my source, my origin. I mean, who else can I rely on? I can't find a human being to anchor on. A human is as vulnerable as anyone else. A teacher, even a teacher, a healer, a master, right? We are all human after all. The only difference is that perhaps we have higher level of consciousness. We have life tools, techniques, knowledge to help us navigate through life difficulties, right? You can leverage on teachers, masters, and healers to help you hold the space for you, to surround you with, higher vibrational energy, to guide you using their clarity. But the faith that you have to find is something bigger than a human being. You have to find something out there that your heart, your spirit, your soul resonates with. And it is a journey. I think the most common way of finding faith for a lot of us is through religion, through spirituality. So this is something for you to explore. Okay, you have to find, this is a journey. There's no set answer for everyone. We will find it. And that is precisely bad things happen to trigger us, to push us, to give us the opportunity to seek this faith that ultimately will reconnect us back, right, to our authentic self, our soul, to empower ourselves. So how to deal with an emotional roller coaster ride from a breakup? You have to bring a lot of awareness to the phases of emotions that are going to erupt one after another. And today's video, I talk about the first thing is shock. So you have to find time to calm yourself down. The next thing is grievance, because you have just lost something. So you have to rebalance your perspective. Don't just focus on what you have lost, but focus also on what you're going to gain next. Now the third one I talk about is feeling lost. The uncertainty, right? The insecurity. What am I going to do next? Who am I? Am I still going to be lovable? Am I still going to find love? Well, remember that is not the point, right? The key point now when you're feeling lost is not about that circumstances itself, not about the relationship, not about the guy, but use that opportunity to step back for deeper self-discovery, to understand yourself better, to make use of that life lesson to help you elevate. Once you know yourself better, that fog in your forest will clear away and you will see the path ahead of you. Okay? So, and once you hit this state of feeling lost, my big red flag here and reminder here is, that's one of the two paths that you can go through. One is through pain or one through peace. So if you're going down the path of pain, be careful, because you're going to carry a lot of toxicity, resentment and anger, right? Vengeance in you. And either you're going to, create more sabotage, more problems with your ex, or you're going to start projecting it on people that's going to come into your life next. So don't go down that path, okay? Go down the path of peace. You have to make peace. You have to find a way to accept radical self-acceptance. You have to find a way to be compassionate through this whole ordeal. And when you go down the path of peace, you realize that new paths are going to happen and it's going to ultimately lead you to bliss. So I hope this video helps, and if you are really going through some emotional roller coaster ride right now through breakup, or you're deciding on a breakup, I'm here to help. If you need emotional support, you need clarity, you need someone to hold your space, book a session with me. I will walk with you, I will hold your hand, and let's brace through this storm.